My fellow Americans, I'm here today to discuss the topic of fake news and social media during the 2016 presidential election. Over the last 4 years, I find that my life has been affected the most by our current commander in chief than any other president has been able to affect my life. So I wanted to concentrate on the election that put him into office. I did not know that much about fake news and was eager to learn. My review consists of 15 sources centered around these 15 subtopics. For today's purposes, I'm going to just give you a quick overview and some scary and or interesting findings, as well as singling out a couple of publications that I believe triumphed above the rest. Holy cow, that's a lot of media. The average American consumes 7.5 hours of media daily. Fortunately, only 1% or 4.5 minutes of that is fake news. Age also serves as a determining factor in how the media is consumed, i.e., younger generations are more inclined to use their cell phones and or mobile devices to consume their media, while senior citizens, on the other hand, are more inclined to sit back and watch their media in front of a television set. Also, senior citizens have the potential to consume up to 30% less media than some of these younger generations. Research has even stipulated that conservative men who are pro Trump have the greatest chance of becoming a potential sharer of fake news. The different platforms of social media each come with limitations and strengths. Facebook status is the heavy is Facebook's status as the heavy favorite preferred social media platform was corroborated by numerous studies results. It has this Facebook allows for massive amounts of followers to visit each candidate's page with additional advertising space available for a fee. Also, it has the potential for the longest videos to be posted, giving 48 or 45 minutes for each. This also combined with the fact that it allows for 63,206 possible characters per post put it above the other platforms. For instance, Twitter only offered 140, Snapchat only offered 31, and Instagram offered 2,200. After Facebook, political strategists found that Twitter is their second favorited platform, and they prefer Instagram over Snapchat. Now then, what I've done here is I've shown two of the main articles that I found so helpful and when I was going through my research. We have the Alcott one, and this is a man who's actually an associate professor at NYU for economics. And he is the only author I have twice on my source list. And his articles, I believe, have the greatest insight and really go the farthest. So if you have an hour, because it's a 76-page article, I would suggest checking out social media and fake news. But I'll touch on that back in just a few minutes. But alrighty, so talking about the different platforms, as I was saying, here is how the candidates and their strategic, their campaign strategists came and found which ones were more appealing and not so much. So you can see here that Facebook is the clear favorite. However, at the end of the election, on Twitter, Facebook somehow sank over 15% or 50%, and then has plateaued to the point where it now is today. So it still gets a lot of views, but Twitter is much higher up. All right, so now we're going to discuss the candidates. First, let's look at Trump. Trump had a much larger social media presence from the beginning. Even before the election, he had over 10 million viewers. And he also relied heavily on the use of populist rhetoric. Populist rhetoric is more about playing upon voters' fears than like talking about the issues. So rather than saying, I believe that, women's rights are yada, 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 Trump is like, he makes this ultimatums or either or, like, I'm the man that must save you. They're dangerous political elites in Washington, and I'm the one that's going to be different and, triumph today. And unfortunately, that worked. He also took a completely different approach to his social media posts. He made them less like press releases, which was what Hillary did, and they were more like, looking at me, this new this new famous person has now endorsed me. And if we looked at Hillary's, on the other hand, she is much more traditional in her response. She has them like mini press releases. And if you looked at her page, it would look like someone who is running for office. And unfortunately, in this election, because of the social media presence, it sort of stepped back from the political view of two candidates and became two celebrities. And Hillary could not win that. So at the time of this 2016 presidential election, Hillary had 7 million followers on Facebook, while Trump had 11.8. All right, so we confirmed fake news was widely shared and heavily tilted in favor of Donald Trump. Our database contains 115 pro-Trump fake stories that were shared on Facebook, a total of 30 million times, and 41 pro-Clinton fake stories shared a total of 7.6 million times. And that's from Alcott and Inspo. This is that 76-page article that I was referring to earlier. All right, so one of the most dangerous things out there right now is these social bots. And for those of you who are not familiar with them, a social bot is pretty much just an automated programmed account. So, and unfortunately, they have the capacity of being very influential. They have countermeasures in place to allow them to act or like other people, and so that people don't always see that they are fake. And the other problem with this is that many times, if you don't know what to look for, you won't know they're fake. So Lee came up with this really, really sad survey that had just these most devastating effects, in which he showed that. All right, so what Lee did was that he found, sorry, I'm just trying to find my page. All right, bots participation can, all right, so here's the warnings about bots. Bots participation could further polarize the fractured partisan system and already established ecosystem chambers. Further technological advances could enhance their capabilities, and there isn't even a training program or a re-education program or any measure whatsoever to put in place to help determine if an account is fake or not. And then going back to this, so he did a school survey, and from that school survey, 80% of the students surveyed said that they could not tell the difference between the fake and the real news. And the thing that helped manipulate them the most was that if it was under considered source material, they were clueless. Unfortunately, they also discovered that 30% of those students believed that the fake accounts were more legitimate than the real ones. So that's a very troublesome factor. And then lastly, going back to Alcott, I just want to say he brings up some really interesting and innovative aspects in his articles. For instance, if we looked at one of them, he's talking about how the partisan divide might not be as great as we want or as we think it is, because of the fact that people are, they're excited and they're cheerleading, so to speak, for their candidates. So polls could not be as severely divided as we think. And so I hope you enjoyed my talk. My name is Sarah Elizabeth George, and everyone calls me Georgie. Thank you. Bye.